Thanks very much, Lewis. I'd also like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to start by acknowledging Minister Mark Furner. Mark, I know how close you were with Duncan and also how highly he spoke of you in the office many times. I know you've been there not just professionally but as a friend, and I know it's been a hard time for many of us, but it's been a hard time for yourself, so that's why I appreciate you coming out to our part of town to honour Duncan. To all the special guests, thanks for inviting me along. As you've heard, I've been there side by side with Duncan Pegg for the last 7 years as his chief advisor in his electorate office. And I've known him for 20 years. He first recruited me to the Labor Party in 2001 in the little lane under the road there at Griffith University. He signed me up, and really the course of my life changed from that point. I think I probably would have gone to be perhaps an accountant or a public servant, I'm not sure. But I was very, very lucky to team up with someone like Duncan. Duncan had a lot of special skills. He was one of the smartest people I've ever met in my whole life, but definitely when it came to politics, political strategy and understanding how politics work, he was a head above the rest. And I could tell that from the first time I met him. When he first recruited me to the Labor Party, the first thing we started doing was running for the student union. At the time, the student union was controlled by a different group, but Duncan, he built a team. He built a team out of many different people, and I was one little part of that team, and we won. And that's what I found from working with Duncan, was that he really was a winner. He could put people together on the same track. He could take on people that others thought were really unbeatable, and he would win. I helped Duncan also on his campaign in 2012, and then when he was successful in 2015. And when I think about it, really, especially as I've been campaigning over the last few weeks, speaking to people about the legacy of Duncan Pegg, the number one thing that keeps coming back to me time after time is that Duncan used the office in Stretton for the benefit of the community. And it comes back again and again. He really used it for the benefit of all the community groups and all the people who called up to complain. As I've been out there door knocking, again and again I hear the same story. Oh yeah, Duncan called me back, he spoke to me for half an hour, he came and met with me or my wife or my kids. Again and again he used that office for the benefit of the people and not for accolades. He didn't go out seeking out accolades. He really did it because that's what he believed in. And that's also why it was so easy to work for someone like Duncan. I was thinking probably a couple of weeks ago, quite a few weeks ago actually, when I was driving into the office. I told Duncan many times that being the Stretton electorate officer was the best job I ever had. And I really wished as Duncan got sick, and you saw it yourself, he faded away, how much better it would have been if I could have just been going to work as the Stretton electorate officer. That would have been much better. But in any event, this is what's happened, and as you've heard, Duncan asked me to stand, he asked me to run, and it's my commitment to Duncan and my commitment to you and the community to carry on Duncan's legacy of always putting the community first. His legacy is a big one too. They are big shoes to fill. I'm aware of that. I was well aware of that when I was standing down the back of the community farewell. There were 300 people. I was operating the clicker down the back of the slides. And people from all walks of life, all across different groups, Labor and Liberal as well, all the different Lions clubs, Rotary, all the sports clubs. It was clear the legacy that Duncan had built, and a little bit daunting as well. But my commitment is strong. My commitment to Duncan was to do the best that I could to carry on his legacy, and that's what I intend to do. If you have a look at what he's achieved as well locally, we've had record investment in schools. So I was at Currabee State School today for their under-9s day, and they'd actually moved the Duncan Pegg sign from out on the corner right into the middle of the school, and there were flowers all over it, and the kids and the mums were coming up to me and talking about the great work that Duncan had done. We walked around, and there's a new outdoor learning area, there's new classrooms. Every school has new facilities, so there's new security fences, solar panels. classrooms, science labs. There's a brand, and most importantly, and probably one of the things I'm most proud of, and I know Duncan was very proud of, was that the $20 million Performing Arts Centre at Stretton State College, which was finished only within the last year, has been named the Duncan Pegg Performing Arts Centre. So that's a fine, fitting legacy for a man who's contributed so much to education and local schools. Roads as well. People speak about Duncan advocating for upgrades to Bow Desert Road. I mean, people obviously don't like getting stuck in traffic. I think a few people were stuck in traffic on the way here. So I think we've had $30 million invested in the last round on Bow Desert Road and public transport as well. Duncan was always big on trying to get new bus stops and more bus routes, and although unfortunately he didn't get to see it happen, there is a new bus route that's going in, a new bus stop that's going in for the 130 for the residents of Stretton Gardens, who Duncan has been very close with over the years, and I know he would have liked to have seen it go in, but we'll ensure that it does in the future. Anyway, I'll probably wrap up there, but I just wanted to thank everyone again for inviting me along, and again pay tribute to my good friend Duncan Pegg. Thank you.